Welcome to Event Up, the place where people enthusiastic about events stay in the know on the latest trends within the events industry. Live, hybrid, and virtual experiences. From virtual events to conferences, award galas, and everything in between.
Welcome to our State of Industry Report. My name is Sara Rosas. I'm the Revenue Director at Innovate Marketing Group. Joining us here today is Amanda Ma. She's our CEO, an industry leader, DEI champion, and just all-around expert in experiential marketing and events. She looks extremely young, but she has a lot of experience in this field. So welcome, Amanda. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. This morning's off to a great start. So excited to be here with you.
Thank you. Yeah. So thank you all for joining us. Whether you're here as a industry professional, brand strategist, or just simply curious about where our field is headed, you're in the right place. Today's webinar is packed with a ton of value. We'll reflect on the successes of 2024. We'll discuss industry trends for 2025, and we will share some really actionable insights to help you plan ahead. So just a little bit about us, a little bit about IMG. We are an award-winning full-service event management agency, and our mission is simple: create meaningful connections between brands and people. Our team has had the privilege of working with some really amazing brands like Google, TikTok, East West Bank, among many others. We pride ourselves on offering a one-stop shop solution from ideation, fabrication to execution, ensuring that every event is as seamless and innovative as possible. Our expertise is across the nation. What really sets us apart is our commitment to pushing boundaries. We take our name very seriously, and we're always asking how we can do everything better, how can make our events more impactful. And as a part of our commitment to our clients and our network, we create this annual report with everything our clients need to know to identify opportunities and grow and adapt as an industry. So without further ado, before we look ahead, we wanted to take a moment to celebrate everything that went great in 2024. Our industry is coming out of the pandemic, and as a company, we had significant growth and innovation. We celebrated our 10th anniversary. So we are so excited and so grateful to our clients, our partners, and of course, all of our team members. It was definitely a night to remember. If you were there, you know, and it was a testament on, how creativity and strategy can deliver unforgettable experiences. Reflecting on these achievements really give us resilience and creativity and powered us through what's coming up for 2025. And in 2025, honestly, I feel like the opportunities are even bigger. We have some research to back this up, and we're very excited to share this with you. So let's talk about numbers. The experiential marketing industry grew 10% in 2024. It was actually over 10%, but it's incredible. And it reached a whopping 128 billion globally. That is just great to hear. Honestly, there's a lot of optimism for our industry, and the future is looking bright. And we have a projected compound annual growth rate of 4%. We shared this stat last year as well, but we're happy to share that this is still true and pushing through 2031. So we're very excited about this. The market is growing, and you may ask, like, what is driving this growth? And it really is that there is an increasing demand for authentic in-person experiences. People are craving connection, coming out of lockdowns and even just beyond. People really want to connect with their brands, and brands are delivering. So this growth is not just about revenue, it's also about relevance. Experiential marketing is no longer a nice to have. It's not like another deck on the strategy. It's really critical part of how brands are building trust, loyalty, and engagement. So here are just some stats that support what I'm saying. It's really interesting, but 70% of consumers become repeat consumers after attending an event. That is insane. And I'm sure that if any marketer is here joining us live, first of all, you'll have numbers, but then also you'll be so excited to hear this, because then the ROI is not only about brand engagement, brand awareness, and any other KPI you may have, but you're also building that trust and loyalty with your consumer that stays beyond the event. 85% express higher purchase intentions, which is obviously what we always want at this event. You want to make sure that your event, of course, is designed to reach your KPIs, but 98 of attendees create and share content about their experience. We talked about this last year. Some of them are good experiences and some of them not as good experiences, but either way you have to know that your audience is going to be sharing this, and so be mindful about the design, about the experience, so that you leave a positive, long lasting impression. So when you're really creating an event and an experience, you're not just entertaining people, you're not just doing it for the sake of doing it. We're building connections that last, and experiential marketing is a great tool to accomplish all of this. All right, so now let's dive into the heart of today's session, our events industry 2025 forecast. So the future is looking bright, looking with full of experiences and challenges, but one thing is very clear. Our industry is evolving rapidly, and staying ahead means embracing change. We know this as event planners, as experiential marketers. We always have to be flexible and adaptable. We'll break down 4 key industries shaping 2025 and expand on what they mean for us as professionals, as brands, as an agency. I'd love to now hand this over to our leader and visionary, Amanda Ma. She really is the right person to talk about it. So yeah, Amanda, take it away.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you to the team that worked on this. I know the team spent a lot of time putting all these stats together and really would put it together for the community. So thank you all for tuning in as well. Very happy to, just kind of adding on to what Sarah shared a little bit earlier, right? This year is looking really good, which is great for industry, as well as knowing this is what the consumer want and need. So that's really help shape for 2025 as well. So there's a lot of growth and optimism, like Sarah mentioned, even though there's a lot of challenges, because we are seeing that, right? The rising cost that has not stopped the demand for in-person events, as well as shortage within the industry. But people in general, for the consumer, they are still really very much craving for meaningful, impactful in-person experiences, even more so than before. And we are really seeing that even on site at the event. We literally just finished an event 2 days ago for one of our big clients, and then the vibe and the energy was just through the roof. And it was just really nice to see, because a lot of time you plan these events and it's like, how does it impact? What's the strategy behind the event, right? So that kind of all ties it back in. There's also been a lot of talks about AI. This is not new for 2025. However, as we continue to explore, as we continue in 2025, more AI tools are coming out, and which is really great, right? We talked about the chatbot for real-time translation. I love those because it's very costly when you hire a team to translate all different languages. And AI is making personalization even easier, right? And it doesn't just stop at personalization. There's also a lot of operation efficiency that AI can help with. So really, as an industry, we talked a lot about using AI to do kind of the really boring stuff. And then that way we have more time for the creativity, right? Not necessary for AI to replace us as an industry, but really leverage the tools of AI and really using it to eliminate some of the pain points that we're seeing at events. For example, the long lines at registration. Now there's AI face recognition, so people can really scan and go, which makes it that much more pleasant. We're always about the attendee experience, so this will help enhance that as well, and making sure events are just smarter, smoother, and even more impactful. Right? Who knows? Maybe one day you walk in, they will already have brain scan and tell you like, okay, Amanda loves this type of speaker, so you're supposed to turn right because that's where all the speakers are. Make it even more easy as well. The third element is really authenticity as well as trust building. Consumers today really want brands to be real. We used to so used to seeing these like super polished campaigns, but that's not what people want anymore. They really want authentic. And that's why a lot of brands like TikTok, they do so well because it's real people behind camera and just with their phone kind of sharing their everyday experiences on different services and product. I love traveling. So I actually follow some of these influencers on travel, and it gives me an insight into what it would be like staying at the hotel or visiting that particular country. Right? So really, these are just, they're looking for imperfection, the stories that really resonate with them on a human level. And last but not least, community engagement. And I love this one because ultimately it's about bigger than what they than just attending an event. They really want to participate and feel like they belong to something bigger. So events, you guys as an industry, or when you're creating events, really think about this. What is the bigger mission, and what are the opportunity that you could create a space like this to really elevate that human to human connection as well as community building? And I can tell you all the events that we have done, when it tied to a community building, it's always very successful because it goes beyond a singular person. Instead, you build community, so the brands do a lot better. They're now building fandom, and it just have triple, I mean, not even triple, multiple folds of benefits that comes with it. Right. So ultimately, the four trends I just mentioned, growth and optimism, the age of AI, as well as authenticity and trust building, and last but not least, community engagement. Now, turning back to Sarah, who will share a little bit more about consumer lifestyle trends.
Thank you, Amanda. I mean, those are incredible trends. I feel like nothing that is completely like um, new in terms of that we've never heard of it before is more of like what you really need to pay attention for in 2025. What will be the main four trends or elements that your strategy needs to have? And I just wanted to mention for our audience, you will be able to download this full document so that you can share it with your team and really dive in. Yeah, let me take on a couple of other more specific trends for 2025. The first one is consumer and lifestyle trends. So beyond these key trends, we're also seeing a shift in consumer values that influence event strategies. Some of them are sustainability, health and well-being, and luxury taking the charge. We just saw, shout out Grad Marketing Girl for sharing a really incredible reel on cafe like luxury experiences that brands have been doing this year, and we're loving them. Prada, I remember it was Louis Vuitton, like really high end brands working on creating community, but in a really experiential way. Sustainability, again, that's no longer optional. Brands are aligning with local and global environmental initiatives. So we can no longer just do an event on Earth Month and then, putting a green label on your products. You really have to align yourself with your strategies and your convictions to your commitment to being green. Some really good ideas are hosting a recycling drive, or maybe integrating some other eco-conscious designs into your packaging or even your events, and showing your attendees that you're serious about making a difference and being sustainable. Health and well-being is honestly something that I remember we talked about this in 2022, but it was more of like a cute thing to have at your conference, like starting with a yoga session or having some mental health space between sessions. It was kind of like a cute thing to have. That's no longer the case. This is a must and has to be. And wellness focused activations, you can have meditation pods or fitness challenges using tech, or enhancing your event while aligning with what your attendees care about. So I feel like that's more of like a must have in 2025. And then luxury experiences, like I was saying, private launches, tailored VIP experiences. We're getting a lot of requests for like yacht tours, yacht happy hours, and we love that. Absolutely love that.
Yeah. And Sarah, for health and wellness, I also want to share. So we saw a lot of puppy area, like puppy zone at conferences. Like
Mhm.
I love that. We also were doing like sound baths, like kayaking, like getting people out the door, right? But even just the sound bath, people are just going from place to place, and we're so digital, tied to digital now, that it's really
Mhm.
nice to just take a moment and relax. Even like a 5,000 people conference that I went to not too long ago, they actually kick off the 3-day conference with a short meditation. So it really sets the tone like, okay, let's really be present. And it kind of, I think whenever brands can incorporate that into the event experience, it really elevates the experience as a whole as well.
Absolutely. I love those. I think that events can be a little bit daunting, especially when it's a large program. So integrating these type of activities into your design can really make a difference and make your event really stand out. So now, Amanda, tell us a little bit more about what brands should be doing for 2025.
All right, we talk a lot about ideas. You guys, events supposed to be fun, supposed to be immersive, right? And then we would love, I think in 2024, we saw a lot of collabs between different brands. We also worked on a lot of those projects. That will definitely continue to evolve in 2025 in terms of the cross industry partnership, the influencer engagement, as well as really purpose driven collaboration as we continue to engage them in different ways. So for example, when it comes to cross industry partnership, you guys may have seen like the ride sharing app teaming up with hotels to really create a really seamless travel experience. And the influencers are really serving as storytellers, right? We even have them at our events because we want to create FOMO before an event. And these strategies are really about not only just the event itself, but really creating value and not just visibility. We even did a TikTok pop up event in December for the holidays. And that's when we have brought 4 brands together along, partnership with a client, and really for that intention is to not only do a great event in a public space since it's a pop-up activation, but we also created a space for influencers to come for the first 2 hours to experience and create some FOMO so people could kind of like look forward to the activation when they come for themselves. We even send the influencers boxes, these fabulous, fabulous boxes prior to the event itself the week of so that they can do some unwrap videos. Again, these are just creating we truly believe that events should not just be a singular moment. There's a lot of marketing and strategy opportunity in terms of pre and post as well. So that's something like we talk to our brands all the time, like how do we integrate it for the event experience to last even longer than just like the event day itself, right? And we're seeing a lot of fashion brands. So Sarah mentioned about cafe. I love that trend as well. Literally, Dior have their cafe in New York that just recently released in late 2024. And I messaged my friend who's in New York. I'm like, we need to go to this next time together. She's my bestie. So something we're looking forward to as well. But these trends are definitely catching on, right? So making it more available to everybody, to the consumer, and meeting them where they're at, so that I think those are really, really great strategy as you're planning your own event. Really think that like who the target market is, where are they in their everyday life, and how to integrate your brand. Another one, a big one, is the design. Previously, we're seeing a lot of muted, but this year is all about vibrant design, pops of color. So, which I really love because I don't know, I think it just stands out a lot more. So that's definitely what we're doing for our clients as well, integrating that vibrant color so it's more attention grabbing as well, and making it even more immersive. And Sarah mentioned a little bit before too, like the nature inspired design as well. So you're seeing a lot more like that. uh, so we love bringing like the outside in, creating those intimate, cozy environments with overgrown foliage and just connecting to nature together, right? So these are some designs that's really going to showcase in terms of the 2025 trends. And you'll also see, I kind of mentioned about the bold colors, the vibrant colors. So bold color palettes like the emerald green and the cobalt blue will really make a statement. I don't know if because this is from Wicked, like especially after Wicked, you're kind of seeing that color palette everywhere. And that's a very strong and beautiful combination. So we'll kind of see more of that coming through in 2025. And the design must pop, you guys. Like, really, really look at the design. I think it's just attention grabbing. Logistics, people could feel, but design is something people see with their eyes. It's all, at the end of the day, it's about touching all the five senses, right? So really consider the color, consider the design itself, and just ultimately the attendee experience. We always kind of go back to that. Yeah, I'm excited for 2025, you guys. Like, honestly, 2025, just kind of closing out today's webinar, is really shaping out to be a year of growth, innovation, and connection. I think I'm very proud and just something I'm so grateful for. We belong to one of the best industries because we get to make an impact through the experiences we build, and we're doing that every day, right? But now we have AI to leverage that as a tool. We're building authentic connections, and we're adding in prompts in the event experiences we build. So think about that. And then also, we're building communities. It's not just about singular events, it's about how do we make a bigger impact and coming together as a community, right? The opportunity is really endless. So I'm so excited to be talking about this with you guys.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Amanda. Those are incredible trends. I feel like you and I already embrace like the natural, design. And yeah, we're just very excited for 2025. And, we did promise our audience that we were going to have some time for Q&A. So I'm going to just step in and ask you a couple of questions that we got in the chat. So first one, thank you, is what kind of partnerships work best for cross-industry collaboration? Can you share a case study?
That is such a great question. Whoever asked this, great question. We have, so one case study I can share is the partnership, that the event that we did for TikTok and Ulta. So we did a bi-coastal Los Angeles, New York event, and it's cross industry between beauty and tech. So in terms of that, we did two events, and it was super successful because they both have common ground in terms of like consumer they're trying to attract, right? So this one event, they're able to leverage their budget more strategically, as well as cross promotion, because now they're inviting people or influencer within each brand that normally wouldn't get invited to maybe a TikTok event or Ulta event. So they're coming together, and that was really, really nice. We not only did activation, but also really just like meal dinner experience as well, and creating that community for them to really cross pollinate. I think that's what's really important. And ultimately, when we first talking with the brand, really strategically need to understand what is the impact that you guys, both of brands, are trying to make, right? And then how to bring those together, because individually they definitely have their own goals, but together, what is the ultimate impact? And I think always really great to think about that, begin with the end in mind. So that's why I think it was so successful, because we knew going in exactly what KPIs we were trying to hit.
And then you also can tap into both budgets, right? Like you get double the team, and you get double the strategy. And they say that two minds or three think better than one. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing. Somebody else is asking, can you share some influencer event strategies?
Oh, another good question. Okay, we do so many influencer events, so I definitely have lots of tips to share. One of them is create lots of photo moments. And I don't just mean pretty background like those. Yes, you should definitely do that. But we actually even started doing content station. So that not only is a beautiful background, but it has great lighting, great sound. And for one particular event that we really kicked off this concept with, we actually have multiple stations because we had about 6 brands that were there, and each brand had a content station. And then we actually, our strategy was you pick one item that's your most popular item perhaps, or one that you want to push, and then that's the singular item that's at that station, so influencer can actually try out those products and while recording live, right? But it's like a little bit better quality, but not super polished, because remember, we just talked about we don't want super polished, but it's good enough that it has great sound, great lighting, right? So they actually, a lot more people, a lot more influencer were able to post that, which in turn was really strategic for the brand, because now they're getting all these social engagements and visibility as well. Another tip is bring a friend. A lot of time you invite these influencer. Well, guess what? Influencers know other influencer, right? So bring another influencers who will enjoy this event. And when people bring another, usually if they bring a friend, guess what? Now they could create content together and they're more engaging. And it's actually fun watching two people like kind of going back and forth, kind of like what Sarah and I are doing. Right? So that is another one. And then usually the influencer events we produce are pretty much sold out in that capacity. But I do hear from people, asking me this question like, oh, how do you make sure it's sold out? Like we're only getting X amount. And this is a great strategy for that, right? Because maybe you only know 100, but if they each bring one, then that'll give you 200 people that could come and enjoy. And we all know just because you invite 200, they don't all show up. It's a percentage. So that's something you have to want to make sure you have data on. Another one idea is we always talk about gifting. That's one thing, like seeding in terms of influencer seeding. So we do a lot of these different box experiences and they're really fun. But understanding influencers are getting a lot of these, right? They have boxes after boxes that are being sent to them. So we're constantly thinking like, how can we push the envelope? How can we be different? So one strategy, really good one, is you could think about what you can do is like, because they receive it all the time. But then one strategy you could think about is give them 5 opportunity to give a box to their network. And it could be an influencer, it could be an everyday somebody that's special to them. Now, and then they will do a video. I think that would be more fun, right? So basically the brand will send a gift to your BFF, to your Betsy, based on your behalf. And that's really fun. And now, and if you want to leverage National BFF Day, for those of you, do we know what that is? It's June 8th. Okay, June 8th. So that's a great one. If you guys want to borrow that strategy, go for it. I won't charge you. But that's another one. My last one is just make sure you're sending products that they actually want, right? Seeding can add up. Some boxes are just so nice, but they're very costly when it's too big or too large. Fewer, but in larger quantity, because it's all about consistency, right? Like saying, because when the influencer run out the product they love, they'll maybe try out, but if you send them consistently, then they are more likely to like continue use it. Who are you tapping into, right? So really look at these. And yeah, I'll end there because I have way more, but I'll just share those for now. I could talk about this
Yeah.
all day long. I love this.
We opened the gate and now it's endless. Thank you so much, Amanda. Those are great. I also loved when we did the advent boxes for TikTok and the event that you mentioned previously. So those are definitely very engaging, exciting, organic content for our brands and our clients. So okay, so it is unfortunately time to say goodbye. If you're ready to take your events to the next level, let's connect. Amanda, it is always a pleasure to share the screen with you. Do you have any final thoughts? Take us away.
Always. I mean, thank you so much, Sarah. Always so fun to chat like this with you. And just remember, every event you create is an opportunity, and you have the power to inspire, connect, and really leave a lasting impression. And that's what we truly believe in, right? And so let's go out there, make 2025 a year to remember. And thank you so much. See you guys all soon.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening. Tune in next time on Event Up.